decades. John Robinson from the Rose Bowl to the NFL playoffs. But just who is Bill Parcells?
I recognize that, you know, I'm kind of the new guy on the block, but that's okay.
Christmas came early for Giant coach Bill Parcells. When he began his second season as head coach of the Giants, there were those speculating that he would not last. Well, not only has he finished, but the Giants are in the playoffs, and some are saying that Parcells is the coach of the year in the NFC.
In order to grow into a winning head coach, it wasn't enough just to put pressure on the players.
You say you want to win, then these are things I think you need to do. Keep going after more players and better players and more of a commitment to winning. And because that's the bottom line, win. And if you win, you get to stay. If you don't win, you don't get to stay.
The bottom line in his first year was 3-12-1. So Parcells, who spent virtually his entire career as a defensive coach, made changes. He went to a big play offensive attack. But that wasn't the only change.
A couple of people said, well, you've changed as a coach. Really, I went back to being the way I always was. I think it was quite a bit harder on my assistant coaches, too, than I was the year before. And more demanding of them.
He was much tougher on us. When we made mistakes on the field, he'd point them out. He might yank us right out of practice and put somebody else in. So guys are on their toes.
Blitz on Theismann, and down he goes.
Long known for the rugged defense, Parcells is trying to instill the same toughness throughout his entire team. But he doesn't worry about things he can't control. He doesn't take his worries home with him, which is why he never saw this play that ultimately put his Giants in the playoffs.
I guess I must have fallen off to sleep, and I heard this shrieking. I don't know what the time lapse was, but my two daughters and my wife apparently were screaming about something, and I knew that it was probably something good, or they wouldn't be screaming. They'd be depressed.
This year, good things just keep happening to Parcells, a far cry from last year.
Bill, I'm not sure that everyone appreciates how difficult it was for you last year when your mother and father both passed away during the season.
I found in my experience in this business, you have to overcome everything. And if you let personal things get into your business, you're not going to function well. So my dad used to tell me, say, they attack the weak people, but they circumvent the strong ones. So just try to keep that in mind.
This week when I was in Bill's office, he still found time to talk to his 62-year-old former high school football coach. He flew him out to Anaheim because he said, I want you in the stadium today when we take on the Rams. When we come back, Dick Vermeil and Jimmy the Greek will break down the Ram and the Giant game for you on the NFL Today in just a moment.
Hi, Sheriff. What's good? The soup. I don't eat much soup.
Dick Vermeil, the return of Jack Youngblood does what now for the Ram defense today?
Well, if he's healthy, he'll put pressure on Sims, and they have to put pressure on Sims. And then the fine secondary, a good hitting secondary, can do a good job of covering. Jack Youngblood, when he's healthy, can rush as well as anybody. And you'll see right here, he'll be coming around the corner and putting pressure on the quarterback. He's at the right-hand side of the screen, coming around the outside tackle. Now watch him come around. He has that acceleration to get from that point to the quarterback in a hurry. Now watch him right here, even at 34 years old. He gets the heat on him, allowing Leroy Irvin now to intercept, make a very fine coverage play right here. That's the kind of play they're going to need to slow down Sims.
Phil Simms, a good quarterback, and what about the Rams secondary?
Well, you have Gary Green. You know, they gave up a #1 for him. Clear playing right corner, covering a post pattern the last time they played on Phil McConkey. Now watch him come inside on this. He goes right for the ball, great leaping ability, bats it down, then watch Newsom. They're a very physical hitting secondary.
All right, now the Rams are about to be introduced out in Anaheim, and what happens when the Giants defense takes on Eric Dickerson?
Well, it starts with Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor makes the big plays on defense, and if he's playing well, making the tackles, then the rest of the defense sort of rallies around him. And they have to play disciplined defense and not allow that cutback, Brent.
All right, and Jimmy, who do you like in this one?
I'll tell you something. In 6 years, this is Sims' first total season, 16 games. I think Sims will play better, will pass better than Kemp because this is Kemp's first big game. I promise you faithfully, Brent, the Giants will beat the Rams today.
You've done it again. You picked the Rams by a field goal on my radio show. We'll come back as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. The Rams offensive players are being introduced. Number 75, Irv Pankey, the left tackle coming out. This is an offensive line led by number 72, Kent Hill. He'll be headed to the Pro Bowl. And there is an outstanding center due to come out next, number 56, Doug Smith. And Jim Burt will have his hands full with him. He has to contain Smith to keep that offense. Next to him is Big Bill Bain, number 62. He'll go at 3 pounds this afternoon. And the tight end up next for them, number 81, there's David Hill. Now one of the wide receivers, number 80, Henry Ellard. He, too, will go to the Pro Bowl. He'll be the punt returner for the NFC. And now Eric Dickerson will be coming out after James McDonald and Jeff Kemp. Just about game time for Jimmy and Dick Vermeil. We'll see you later, everybody.